Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 1. I'm going to present about this. Before we start, I want to introduce our group members. My name is FITRI by ANUAR, and this is JAYCIE GRACESHEILA, and this is AHAM MOHAMMAD, and this is FITRI by AZMI. This slide is about objective. The first objective is to display the problem-solving skills on bell and gear in the lathe machine, and also generate samples using a standard parameter using spreadsheet or any appropriate tools. The second objective is to demonstrate the work result and prove the communication and discussion with the third parties in the project investigation. And the last objective is to gather precise data about the bell and gear in the lathe machine via the interview session with third parties. From this assignment, we found some problem statement. The first one is how to maintain the lifespan of the component in the machine. And the second one is about safety protocols for machine users.
So for significant of project, the first one is communication skills. The second one is apply knowledge from subject to actual situation. Subject machine element design. So for scope of work, our first scope of work is communication with the third parties. Second one is investigate data of component in the machine. And the last one is conduct an Excel based on the data collected.
So for the next one, we're gonna talk about methodology of this project, which is this is a flow of a journey for us to make this mini project success. So the first one, and we are selecting a machine. We are selecting a machine for this study, which is we are selecting metal lathe machine for our research. After that, from metal lathe machine, we are selecting two components, which is belt and gear, and this is two of the topics that we learned from MET 521. After selecting the two topics and the two components for metal lathe machine, we have to verify the study of this topic. And then after that, we went for an interview session for this metal lathe machine, and then we collect a data for belt and gear components and measure all the dimensions required. After collecting all the data, we are doing a calculation through Excel and conducting an Excel calculations. After that, we analyze the result and then writing a report, and then we are presenting the project. The requirement for this mini project is software. The first one is software and application, which is we have to use Excel for calculation data and the dimension. And then second one is measuring tools that we use for measuring, and which is vernier caliper and ruler for us to measure all the dimension of the two components, which is belt and gear. And the third one is a communication with the community, which is we went for an interview for metal lathe machine with the assistant engineer, Engineer Anas. And then the fourth one is a data selection. The data selection that we collect that we get from the interview, and then we are conducting in Excel.
And now for result and discussion. So to find the result of the analysis, we involve some of the formula in our component So for the component belt, the formula we involve is center distance, which is 1 over 4 b plus square root b squared minus 8, and multiplied by uh, radius, the second radius minus the first radius, and the power of 2. So if we want to find the center distance, we have to find the value of b, which is the l minus pi, and multiply by the second radius and plus the first radius. So we also can find the alpha from our data, which is the formula for alpha is inverse sine and the second radius minus the first radius and over the center distance. And then after we find the alpha, we can find the contact angle, which is the contact angle at the small angle, uh, which is pi minus 2 alpha. And for the large angle, we can get by pi plus 2 alpha. And then next for the gear, the formula we invoke is we find the modules, which is uh, diameter over n, and then we find the center distance, which is uh, the modules over 2, and multiply by the total of the uh, n, which is n1, n2, n3, and n4. So for the circular pitch is pi and multiplied by m. And then you also find the speed ratio, which is n1 over 2 is equal with the n3 and over n4. So for the analysis review, the specification that we can find is that we get from the interview is the length, which is 1840 millimeter, and the width of the rivet is 13 millimeter, and the thickness 6.65 millimeter, and the radius at the large pulley is 8.718 millimeter, and radius at the small pulley is 4.276 millimeter, and the speeds we get is 260 rpm. Then we calculate using the formula that we involve. So we find the B, which is 1799.178 millimeter, and the center distance is 899.5781 millimeter, and the alpha is in radian, so we get 0.004938 radian. And for the small contact angle, we get 3.131717 radian. And for the large angle, we get 3.151468 radian. And for the next is the analysis for the gear. The specification that we get from the interview, we get the diameter of the first gear, which is 7.6 millimeter, and then for the second gear, the diameter is 12.91 millimeter, and the third gear, the diameter is 8.13 millimeter, and the last one for the gear 4, the diameter is 11.32 millimeter, and the speed we get it also is 260 rpm. And then the number of teeth of the gear, uh, for the gear 1 is 33, and number of teeth for gear 2 is 54, and the third one is 35, and the last one for number of teeth for the gear 4 is 48. And then when we involve the formula, we get the module is, for the module is 0.239074 millimeter,
And then the center distance between the gear is 20.3213 millimeter, and the circular pitch we get 0.751073 millimeter, and for the speed ratio we get 0.6111 with the unit millimeter per second.
And now this is the example of the machine bed and gear running at the speed of 30 rpm to 550 rpm.
So the next slide is about summary of work. The study effort has been extensively documented, demonstrating an organized, systematic throughout its duration. This well-organized record demonstrates how meticulous and structured the project was. These are some pictures taken during during we executing our project.
So this is challenge that during our assignment. So the first challenge is language barrier. So the second one is time management, and the last one is misunderstanding information.
Okay, next one we're gonna talk about etiquette skills in communication. So the first one is we have to address the third parties formally. Like we have to address if he is a man, we have to address him as Mr. or Sir. But if she a female, we have to address her in Madam or Miss. And the second one is we have to listen attentively. Okay, the second one is we have to listen attentively when the third person are giving out their opinions or giving any information, and make an eye contact with them. And make eye contact with them. And the third one, you have to talk confidently. If you don't talk confidently, then we have then the third parties are unsure with our informations and the question that we are going to ask. And then the fourth one is we have to be well prepared so that there will be no misunderstanding between you and the third parties. And the fifth one is be mindful with the third party's time management so that there will be no time clash between you and the third parties to ensure uh, that there will be accurate time between both parties.
For the lesson learned from the project. So from this project, we learn that we have to ensure the purpose clearly so that the third parties get the information correctly. And then we need to capable of receiving and understanding the information given from the third parties. And next, we need to adapt with the formal communication style when we talk to the third parties. And next, we need to foster a positive and open environment. And then we have to encouraging the collaboration and understanding among individuals. And the last one, we can contribute to successful and meaningful interactions if we do it together in the team members.
Is a recommendation for effective communication. The first one, we have to set goals. Setting goals before starting interviews and setting in interviews and information for the other parties. And the second one is to seek a feedback from others to uh, to build our confidence. And then the third one is to be more professionalism. We have to give and take the opinions fairly without any prejudice. And then the fourth one is to learn to listen before answering or questioning. It is better for us to listen first before answering any questions or giving out any opinions. And the fifth one is to get rid any conversation fillers. Conversation fillers is like adding some like uh, adding some just informal conversations. And the sixth one is to encourage active listening and open-mindedness. We have to listen actively and be more open-minded in receiving any opinions from others.
So the last one is conclusion. So the objective of the project were achieved by commitment of the group members. We gain more knowledge on metal machine, especially belts and gear, improving our soft skills, solving the problems in Microsoft Excel, having an effective communication with the third parties, and the last one is adapting to the work professionally with group members. So that's all from our group. So thank you.